What is driving us to want to eat meat so much? It's the chemicals. It's not about, oh, I'm vegan, I just don't deal with it. Let's be real. What is it that's causing us to want more of it? For breakfast, bacon or turkey. For lunch, a cold cut sandwich. Or dinner, chicken leg or a slice of turkey, whatever the case may be. Meatloaf. Why do we need it on every dish that we have when we sit down at the table and begin to chow down? Hey you guys, it's me, Aset. I'm back with another health assessment. And my question today is, why are we so crazy about meat? Why is meat so yummy? Why are we so addicted to it? Somebody help me out with that. Let's talk about it. I wanted to discuss a little bit about meat products. What about meat? Why is meat so interesting to us? Why is it that we have to have meat on every side that is prepared for us? I'm not talking about our vegans, because they are strong about it. They feel some kind of way and they're like, it's just not for me. But it's not really about vegan. What is it all about? Well, it's chemicals. The thing that makes us want meat so much, the fact that it is drowned in chemicals. An interesting thing about chemicals causes an addiction. We have tendencies to be addicted to the darnest things, mainly the things that are not so good for us, not the greatest things for our liver to have a blast breaking down. Anything to that nature is typically the chemicals that makes us so addictive. Is chicken really yummy? Or is it really the chemicals that have been pumped up in the chicken? Is beef really yummy? They inject nitrates and different kind of chemicals in it to preserve the meats. We still have a special addiction to it, and I don't know if we're really aware of it. And not just meat alone, it's a lot of things that have chemicals in it that causes us to want more of the chemicalized stuff. Have you ever noticed that you're never really addicted to an apple, a banana, or water? We're never really addicted to water, although there are a lot of chemicals in it. Water is always a good thing, but too much of anything is never good for anybody. But have you ever been addicted to things that don't have chemicals? Things that are in its most natural form, like fruits, vegetables, leafy greens, and things like that. The reason why we're not so addicted to it for a few reasons, but mainly if it's organic, it doesn't have chemicals in it. And plus, a lot of people are just not naturally addicted to salads and leafy greens and fruits and vegetables and things like that. But mainly with the meat products, or even potatoes, French fries, chips, things like that. If we look at some of our nutrition labels that are on the back of these packages, we'll realize that there are a lot of chemicals that are infused in these simple things. It doesn't matter if it's a dry fruit as well. They have chemicals that are on certain packages as well to preserve the freshness, which dry fruits they are typically preserved themselves when they're dried. A lot of foods that are chemicals are foods like chips, candy, meats. Things that are not edible are chemicals like that we can be addicted to are like pills, weed, vapes. The equation that I'm trying to draw up between the meats, food products, and the chemicals that are non-edible is the fact that we're showing that chemicals are most definitely the factor of it all. It's the common denominator. We're addicted to the foods and things that have the most chemicals in it, and we're not addicted to a lot of things that don't have that much chemicals in it. And some of those things that I have talked about was like the apples, the fruits, the leafy greens, and things of that nature. So the question is chicken really yummy? Is it something that we would eat without salts? Is it something that we would eat if we just caught it on the road and if it was never introduced to us? Probably not. If we were never really introduced to meat products or candy bars or things of that nature, we would not be really interested in it. Why? It's the chemicals.
Now, please also be mindful that fruits and vegetables are not exempt from being chemicalized. That's why it is very imperative to stay on organic seasonal fruits and vegetables, because a lot of them are manufactured in facilities that produce genetically modified foods.
Pills alone can be addictive. So that shows the equation between the foods that we eat that are very addictive, such as meats, potatoes also release a chemical themselves when they are fried at high temperatures. So we tend to love papa fritas a lot, or chips, things of that nature. We love it the most. Why? Not because it tastes so good, because of the chemicals that we tend to get addicted to. Same difference with marijuana. Marijuana is a chemical when it is burned. The minute it is lit,
cooked, or
transformed from its natural properties, now it is going to a chemical form, and anything that is transformed from its natural properties becomes chemical. So those are the things that we get hooked on the most. Sugar, vapes, potato into a french fry, a lot of different things, byproducts, all kinds of stuff. Just everything that has been transformed from its natural product, we are in love with probably the most. Even if we do have some vegans that's out there, they may have a favorite, but I'm sure they are not that addicted to it, and it is probably based off of their preference versus they can't help themselves. Cookies are another thing that are very addictive because of the chemicals that are in it. When you look at the back of your packaging, when you eat these things, you'll notice that there are terms that are very difficult to pronunciate. And if they're very difficult to pronunciate, then they are chemicals. They are not natural, unless it is a scientific terminology for a specific vegetable or spice or herb or whatever the case may be. But typically they do not hide that. They disclose what that natural form is. If it is onion powder, they will say onion powder. They won't say allium ceper powder. They will just flat out say onion powder. They won't hide that type of information because they want to show some sort of credibility. So the other things they just cannot hide because it is something that is man-made and it is made in a lab. So they have to give it the term that had been given. They have to speak up on that. A lot of these chemicals also causes us to have a lot of health issues. It causes us to have an imbalanced pH system and also imbalanced chemical system within our body. Our body produces our own chemicals. We produce ammonia. We produce a lot of different things in our body, chloride and things of that nature, but it is balanced. It is well balanced within the body, and we don't need any extra to make us imbalanced. It's like the gravitational pull. If the moon pull the earth off its gravitational pull a little bit too much, then we're in trouble. If the earth drifted off just 1 degree, we would be in trouble. Same thing with our body. If our body is imbalanced between our pH and chemical levels, then we're in a troubled state. So we have to be very cautious of how much we put into our body, what we put into our body, and we need to make sure we understand what we're doing so we can try to make better decisions. Because when we don't know, then we have tendencies to continue to abuse ourselves unknowingly. Some of the issues that the chemicals produce in the body are
things like carcinogens, and carcinogens can lead up to the damage of DNA cells, which can also lead up to cancer cells within the body. If you guys are enjoying this video so far, give me a thumbs up and go ahead and hit that subscribe button so I can continue to be encouraged to put more videos out like this. I'm very excited to help, and the algorithms will help other people see information I put out there.
Chemicals are very addictive, so we will want more and more and more, like cookies, chips, potatoes, meats, etc. These chemicals inside of these products causes an imbalanced state within our body. It gives us something more than we need. So when we are constantly eating these things, not because we want it, is because we need it at this point, because our body is yearning for it, because we're now imbalanced chemically. So if we're not paying attention, then we're going to overindulge, and then we're going to continue to eat more and more of what our body don't need, or whatever our body don't want, period. And then we're not going to talk about the extra chemicals that we put on our body externally, like the lotions. We're addicted to sweet smelling lotions. Those are chemicals too. The hair products, toothpaste, soaps, the detergents, all of these are extra chemicals. Our bodies are absorbing all of these chemicals that are just way beyond what we wish to have, not want or need, but even just unknowingly want to have. Now we're putting our body in a very toxic state, because now our liver is being overworked, and our main function for the liver is to release the toxins, release the unwanted chemicals that our bodies produce, take in, and also because the radicals that are in the air on a daily basis. It has to work 10 times more than it should if it was on a more balanced state. Does that make sense? So we don't want to overwork our lonely liver, because we don't have another one to replace the one that may potentially go down once it goes into a disease state. Minimize our toxic load. We have to check our intake of chemicals, whether we're on medication or whether we are taking in some unnatural things that are not conducive to the body. And also be cautious of the foods that we eat that are full of chemicals, because they can cause all kinds of issues. They can cause bloating. They can cause toxins in the body. Bacteria is being released into the body. All kind of adjustments in the body. Fluid levels being shifted in places where they shouldn't be. I mean, just a chain reaction. If we're not sure of what we're doing, we need to ask our doctors, because our doctors are not really going to discuss this with us. And it is up to us to ask the question, hey, what are my pH levels? Are my chemicals balanced within my body? Because I would like to know if I'm eating some of the wrong foods. You don't want to be on any medication and being infused with more chemicals. So it's better to use some foods to help you balance your pH levels, take away the things that are making you imbalanced, and put some things in your body that will help balance you and get you back on track without having to go to an outside source to help you get back on track when you get into a disease state. So the question still remains, why are we so addicted to meats? But it's really not about the meats. It is, why can't we break away from some of the habits that we have? Why is it so difficult for us to break away from the meat and it's not difficult for us to break away from an apple, right? Okay. Some of the toxins that are in the body that comes from these meats are toxins like chloride. Why is chloride in our meats?
Oh no!
Carbon monoxide. Carbon monoxide? Why?
Ooh.
Ammonia? Yes, ammonia.
Wow.
Why are they injecting our foods with these kind of chemicals? They say that chlorine is used to disinfect the chicken because of the algae that it may produce or the slime. Carbon monoxide because they're using it for freshness. Why are they using ammonia, etc., etc., etc.? Even though they may have good reasons on why our food is being doused in these chemicals, it still doesn't make it good, right? Because our body says that I have to work extra hard just to take that out. And what if I can't catch up? What if it's too late? What if it's just so much of whatever man is putting in, I have to constantly keep up with it, and the workload is too much and I'm backed up for years and years and years and I can't catch up? What happens? Even though they are using these chemicals to keep our food fresh, so they say, and things of this nature, it still doesn't make it right for our bodies to be overworked like they are being overworked because of how much of the chicken that we are addicted to. How much addiction do we have towards the cookies? How much of an addiction do we have towards the chips? How much an addiction do we have towards the MSG? How much of an addiction do we have towards the Popeyes? How many addictions do we have towards all of these different KFCs, Church's Chicken, anywhere, you name it, restaurants, luxury restaurants, it doesn't matter. Chicken is chicken, meat is meat, and whatever is whatever. They're putting it on it, and your body can't keep up if you are addicted to it, is what I'm trying to say. So do we really want meat, or do we need it? It's not a trick question, but it can be. Let me know if this video was helpful to you. That way I can continue to be helpful to others. And if there's something that you have a question with, please feel free to leave a comment below or go to my website and ask a question, subscribe to my mail list, and just keep up with me. I have great blogs that I feel that they can find pretty useful. So the links are in the description. Let me know if this was a helpful video, and please don't forget to share. I really hope that you guys find out what your pH balance is all about and your chemical levels are all about, so you can stay healthy. Talk to your doctors and find out what is going on so you can better yourself and people around you, and also generations to come. So let's get healthy or healthier so we can help other generations stay healthy. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you on my next video. Take care.